there were a lot of people calling on me to, how do I put this? To kind of do a takedown of, hold on, let me just, I want to actually bring up the topics doc, because I actually wrote some of my own thoughts in there, and they didn't necessarily make their way into the doc itself. So there were people, particularly on Reddit, calling on me to do like a takedown of Austin Evans's video on the Framework 13. He published a review yesterday talking about a lot of the downsides of the hyper repairable modular laptop investment disclosure. I'm invested in Framework. Some of the downsides he identified were the relatively high price for the performance, construction compromises for the sake of modularity, the genericness of the keyboard. There's actually some stuff he talked about that isn't necessarily in my notes here. He talked about the lag for Framework to have the latest processors. But I guess what I'm sort of trying to ask is, why would I be doing a takedown of his video? His conclusion was that essentially it wasn't for him. He didn't see the value of it.
And this ties directly back into the same thing that I've been complaining about, which is not all reviewer people need to agree with each other, and that's okay. Austin doesn't need to agree with your take. If it's even different than your take.
But that's the thing, is I don't even think he did. If you watch the whole video,
I haven't watched it.
And if you listen, it's 20 minutes long. Like, it's long. And if you listen to everything he says, he talks a lot about the positive things as well. It's actually pretty balanced. And I think actually a lot of the negative, he's getting roasted for it.
Seems like it.
And I think a lot of the negativity toward the video actually demonstrates what a good job he did of outlining the compelling things about the Framework, and particularly the Framework 13. Because everyone who watched his video disagrees with his conclusion, because he actually did a really great job of outlining everything that's super good about it. There are a couple of things that, if I was to have a private conversation with him, I might say, yeah, here's here's an alternate perspective or whatever else. But I don't know. It was kind of disheartening for me to see the people who were looking for some kind of drama or showdown between me and Austin. There won't be. There shouldn't be. He gave his opinion. He didn't make it personal. Nothing he said was personal. Everything he said was his opinion based on his time, his experience with the product. And he has different priorities. I saw a couple people criticizing the laptop that he compared it to, saying that it wasn't a like for like, the one that he found for half the price that had the same processor in it or whatever else. And you know what? That's fair. But Austin's priorities might not be those things that are better about the Framework 13. And I think you'd have to be a complete fanboy. You'd have to be deluded to look at the Framework 13 and say it's the best value laptop. We don't even use them internally here. And there's a variety of reasons for that. A lot of our folks prefer touchscreen. Framework still doesn't have a touchscreen option. That's feedback I've been giving them on an ongoing basis. The cost is not necessarily the most competitive for what the spec is. There are departments where we have at least considered rolling them out, and the ability to upgrade them over time is a key part of that. The ease with which you can get replacement parts is a key part of that. But it's not going to be perfect for every environment. And guys, investment or no investment, I would never tell you that it's the perfect thing for every environment. Like, look, the second that I turn into a Framework salesman, you should stop buying Frameworks and you should stop watching LTT. That hasn't happened and it never will. It's ridiculous. Yeah, like what's, hold on. I saw a comment from someone that was like, it felt like, I think it was Crystal, it felt like he missed the point, but he didn't. He outlined the point really well. He actually talked in detail about the point and about the benefits. And I don't agree with his conclusion.
Which is fine, yeah.
Which is totally fine. But what I do respect is the way that he outlined both sides before he presented his conclusion, giving you an opportunity to be armed with the facts and decide if you agree with him or not. I don't know. I'm so done with everybody having to agree. And if we disagree, not being able to do it in a manner that is respectful.
Yeah.
You should get multiple perspectives. I have always said that. And the only perspective that I won't accept is the perspective that you don't need multiple perspectives. There is no one truth. There is no one answer. It is never that simple. You could look at the best benchmarks taken in the most scientific manner, but if the most important thing to you is turning on all of the eye candy with a bunch of mods, those benchmarks are never going to be the most relevant thing to you because in the interest of repeatability, they can never use those mods. It's never black and white. Literally never. I'm tired of it, man. Tired of it.
It's really frustrating.